the weaver of quiet light. In the sprawling modern city of Veridia, where towering glass and steel cast cold shadows, lived a woman named Lyra. Lyra was a master weaver, but the grand, fast-paced city had no time for her art. Everyone wanted speed, not patience, mass production, not the intricate, slow beauty of a hand-loomed tapestry. Lyra lived above a dusty, abandoned storefront in the district of Old Key, an area forgotten by the city planners and choked by billboards advertising things no one truly needed. She spent her days weaving small, simple pieces, scarves patterned with the faded colors of sunrise, or placemats threaded with silver grey yarn that mimicked the river fog.
Look at the colors.
They were beautiful, but they rarely sold.
It's incredible. The whole
One day, while
district
sitting
feels
by her
different
window,
now.
she noticed a crack in the pavement below her shop. From that crack, a tiny, defiant shoot of green had emerged, straining towards the sliver of sunlight that managed to pierce the skyscrapers. It was a
Look at the
single,
colours
brave
she used
seedling.
here.
This small,
It's incredible.
tenacious
The whole
life
district
sparked an
feels
idea in
different
Lyra.
now.
If one small thing could grow in such a hostile place, perhaps something beautiful could be woven there too. Lyra began her most ambitious project, the Quiet Light Tapestry. She didn't start with grand goals. She started with the wall of the derelict shop below her apartment. It was a miserable expanse of peeling paint and graffiti.
Look at the
Lyra
colours
didn't
she
cover
used
it.
here.
She decided to enhance
It's
it.
incredible. The whole district
She took her
feels different
salvaged
now.
yarns, scraps of rich indigo, threads of burnt orange, and soft sage green, and using strong thin wire, she began to weave her art directly into the brickwork, incorporating the existing cracks and textures. The first piece was a small, bright sunburst woven around a rusty drainpipe. The next was a flowing river pattern that incorporated the old,
Look at the
chipped
colours
stone
she used
foundation.
here.
She worked
It's incredible.
slowly,
The whole
often just a
district
few
feels
square inches a day,
different now.
sometimes stopping for days when doubt crept in. Who will care? It's just weaving on a dirty wall. But then, an elderly man named Mr. Chen, who lived down the street and spent his days watching the traffic, stopped to watch her. "What are you doing, girl?" he asked skeptically. "I'm giving this wall a memory," Lyra replied, focusing on looping a knot. "A memory of the colors that used to be here before the city went grey." Mr. Chen didn't say anything, but the
Look at
next
the
day,
colours
he
she
brought
used
her a
here.
dusty, forgotten spool of
incredible.
brilliant
The whole
violet yarn he had
district
found
feels different
while
now.
cleaning out his attic. "This was my wife's," he said. "Maybe it can remember something nice." Lyra wove the violet thread into a cluster of urban flowers, tiny, intricate blooms fighting
Look
for
at the colours
space.
she used here.
Slowly, Lyra's
It's incredible.
project
The
began
whole
to draw
district
attention.
feels different
It
now.
wasn't advertised, it simply existed. The delivery driver started leaving his packages near the weaving, admiring the daily progress. A group of teenagers, who usually scrawled their tags nearby, began taking photos of the tapestry. The Quiet Light Tapestry grew inch by inch, spreading across the derelict facade. It became a living mural, a textile map of the community's hopes and memories. A school teacher contributed bright yellow threads, symbolizing the joy
Look
of
at the colours
learning.
she used here.
A former carpenter offered
incredible.
polished,
The whole
small
district
pieces of
feels
driftwood,
different now.
which Lyra integrated as sturdy anchor points. The teenagers, seeing the beauty of creation, started using chalk to add temporary, colorful borders around the weaving, respecting the delicate work. Lyra realized the project wasn't about her weaving skills anymore. It was about the shared act of creation. She wasn't decorating a wall, she was rebuilding the neighborhood's sense of possibility, thread by tiny thread. When the tapestry finally covered the entire storefront, transforming the building into a riot of quiet color and texture, the city finally noticed. News teams arrived, amazed by the spontaneous urban renewal. Tourists started visiting Old Key, not for the glass towers but for the woven wall. Lyra's art became the catalyst. The local council offered grants. Other artists, inspired by the small gentle revolution, began planting flowers in the newly accessible cracks and painting murals on neighboring walls. Old Key, the forgotten district, became known as the District of Gentle Light. Lyra, the master weaver, never got rich, but her shop finally thrived, selling her small, carefully made pieces. She learned the deepest inspirational truth. You don't need a grand plan or a loud voice to change the world. You just need to start with the smallest thing you can control, a single thread, a single crack, or a single moment of focused beauty, and let its light quietly inspire the rest. Her legacy was not the tapestry itself, which would eventually fade, but the community it had rewoven. That was a story about creative inspiration and community building.